Okay, so I got a controversial video for you guys today. Because I was thinking about and this concept of the 4 seasons of life. I think life, just like the year, has 4 seasons and there are cycles to everything. The springtime is your time to absorb and experience the world. This is like your childhood, right? Um, your summer is about activity. It's about pushing the boundaries. It is just like the summer, which is going to start any day now, right? I'm waiting for the hot days. Maybe we don't have summer this year, which would make this video so much more apt. Then you go to the autumn, to the fall season, which is all about intention and preparation. It's when things get serious, that second half of the year where you really got to be mindful and get ready for the winter. And the winter is about balance and control. You got to survive the winter, right? You're going to be limited in what you're able to do, so you got to be real judicious and mindful and cerebral about what you do, right? So when we talk about our 20s, that's the summer of your life. That's the summer. And the way modern life is at every turn, at every step of life, it gets you to waste your 20s. And I know plenty about that. And how it all starts, let's start with school. It's the school, college, work pipeline. That is the pipeline. That is the template everybody's following. Doesn't mean you have to follow this in order to waste your 20s. I didn't follow that pipeline, and I still wasted my 20s. I'm 29, by the way, and I just did episode of This Week in Tyranny 129, so this is why I was thinking about that. Now, how it usually goes for the average person is on one hand, well, this happens to actually all of us. You don't have a choice unless you're homeschooled, or unless maybe you send your child to the Liberation Academy, who I have to give a shout out to. But for the rest of us, the way it goes with school is on one hand, you're kept sheltered from the real world. So you're not actually seeing the real world. You're stuck in this classroom every day, this artificial synthetic environment. So what happens is you don't really experience the world fully. You only do so during the summers, which are fun as hell. That's the only time you get a real childhood experience, right? Some people even go to daycare and preschool. So really, like before you even know it, you're thrown into this artificial environment. Now, as you get older and approach high school and college, then you're over and over again told about your future, getting ready for your future, choosing your major, choosing your career path. What are you going to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? We told this to kids from early on, right? So not only are you robbed of the spring of your life, of being a kid, the childhood, but you're also robbed of your summer, where you're supposed to not only have fun, but work hard. The 20s are about work hard, play hard, both. So what happens is, instead, you go straight into the autumn of your life. From when you're a teenager, you gotta work, you gotta do all of your college applications, you gotta think about what you're going to do, you have to set up your future life, your house, your family, your student loans. So when you're supposed to be setting up your adult life, this is supposed to be that time somehow, even though you've never actually organically went through childhood and finding yourself. So how can you? Like, you're skipping both steps actually. But what happens to people is, instead, we're all about accumulation in our 20s. We spend our 20s to make a lot of money and get a degree and invest and all that, so that when we are in our 30s and 40s and later, then we can live life and enjoy it. And I see this as totally upside down, because we need to have maximum fun and enjoyment in our 20s. So this is a trap that we have to set up our life and really just do things the right way and not make mistakes. But it's not even that it has to be one or the other, because like I said, summer is about working hard and playing hard. And I do mean literally. This is not just a metaphor comparison. Like, during the summer, you got the sun coming up early and setting late. So you got this, it's the season of working long hours. I'm in it now. This is when everybody does their construction, right? So in my job, I'm working longer, but I'm also wanting to go out more. That this is what it's like. This is what happens when the sun is out. You want to make more money while you can, but also to go out on those warm nights and stay up late with people. But this is not actually what young people are doing today. They go to school and they work and they do a lot of activities, it seems like all day. but it's all within a structure and some sort of a plan. And there's very little free exploration, just being there with somebody. Very little meeting new people, and just not enough getting together and passing time, like getting together just to get together. I remember this, where it was just, you didn't have to have a plan. You didn't need to have a coordinated activity. You can just get together and pass time, because it's not about just having fun. Is not just one thing, because this is what a lot of people do in their 20s. They're just having fun, right? This is what I did. Still wasted my 20s, because there are two types of having fun. There's repetition, and then there is exploration. But I want to talk about the work part, like acquisition versus accumulation. Okay, having new conquests, new experiences. That's what it's all about. This is like where work and fun mixes, right? This is why I'm setting it up this way. But we need to have new experiences in our 20s. And it's not that having a wild sexual experience in your 20s is what life is all about. It's not like it's going to change your life. But that is one of the things we need to do, because we don't get to do it later in life. And that's important. It's important to do those things when you're young, that if you don't do them, you're going to regret them later. And this is why people have a midlife crisis and all these sorts of things, because we need to have those experiences when we're young. We're not going to get to redo them. You can't really do them later. And that's another thing that's been taken from young people. See, it's actually keeps the men in the hamster wheel of accumulation, to try to get more money, get more belongings, so that you set up your life in the future, right? To make more money, so that later on you can get to enjoy and spend it all. And a lot of guys do this because when you do get the status and the car and the money, if you get to be rich or something like that, if you are a man like that, you can have those fantastical experiences in your 40s and even later, right? Like you can have those wild experiences later, even if you have to buy them. But it's not as fun then, because that good feedback that you get, that all men need feedback. We need good feedback. And if you get it later, you can, but you're not getting it for who you truly are, but for who society says you are, because you've accomplished this, this, and this. So it's not as satisfying. And that actually brings me to women who, for the most part, don't like men for who they are nowadays. Get as offended as you like. I know this is a controversial video, but women nowadays like men for what society says they are. And I'm talking now as partners. Okay? So very specific. I'm talking about relationships. So what ends up happening is that people no longer want to have children in their 20s, because it's like, why would I waste my good years doing that? I'm going to do what I want until I'm 35 or so, and then I'll have children. You got to bear with me here. Like, I didn't just pull this out of the air. This is what people think like. And I'm not telling women what to do. I'm just making my observation that this phenomenon, it shows that people don't actually like their free organic humanity. What they want to be with, they like their social structure, their systems, and external approval. So what happens is women are trying to they're wasting their 20s trying to catch their tail end of fertility. And how does that make sense? To wait until something's almost gone and then use it. Another thing is just women just don't see men as being very desirable when men are in their 20s. And I can't really blame them for that too much, because men are wasting their 20s too. That's the thing, right? But it's all upside down, because in your 20s, for both men and women, that's the only time you can actually experience being a parent without it being like a painstaking hard labor. Because parenting is really hard. I know. I've never done it, but I know it's really hard. But if you're in your 20s, you could handle it. You need a lot of energy to stay up all night. How else are you going to do it? Like, this is the thing about work hard, play hard. And this is the thing, you can ask any parent about it. It's the most fun, rewarding experience, and it's the hardest experience. There's a reason that it is that way. And good luck going through that in your 40s. Shout out to my mom, so okay, who's done a great job. But you're gonna drive yourself to exhaustion. You might as well be in your physical prime where you're doing that. You need a lot of energy to stay up all night and always be stressing about your child. So I know women are gonna say, yeah, so how can I have fun if I sacrifice my youth to be caring for someone around the clock? To which I would make the rebuttal. Is you running around the corporate office as a sales rep really that fun and fulfilling to you in the first place? Because let's keep it real now. That's what a lot of women are doing. They're not, instead of being a mom, living an amazing life. They're not living a sitcom. They're in the corporate world. They're living that type of a thing. They're kind of living like a bachelor, like a young male bachelor lifestyle, and that's supposed to be that amazing. Are you really having a blast being a nurse and then going to the gym 3 hours after your shift? Because I don't buy it. I don't think it's actually that fun. I think it's just hard to admit when people are wrong, and I think people have even lost this. They don't even know that the reason that everybody is so unhappy is that a lot of us need to be having children in our 20s. Uh, and then when your child goes off and they're teenagers and they're young adults, you still get to be like in your 40s, right? So you still have the time to have fun. Whereas if you wait to have children when you're 35, 40, then by the time you raise your child, you're getting to be collecting Social Security. So you're not going to be able to have as much fun. It's just all been a scam. And there are two types of having fun, which I brought this up earlier: repetition versus exploration. And I'm the one who did repetition. I got high all the time and partied all the time, and I thought that I was actually having fun. It's not actually having fun. Like if you go to the bar every other day with the same people doing the same kind of things, having this kind of you can waste your energy two ways. You could waste your energy working dead end jobs and be unfulfilled, or you could waste your energy spending time with people who are wasting your time, and they're not really progressing in their life. They're not really all that fun or inspiring, and you're just doing the same things over and over again. Some people manage to waste their energy doing both of those things simultaneously. Um, and it's fun for a while, but escapism is not really fun. You can have escapist partying, or you could actually party and have exploration, which I think people should do. I think people should be having fun. Uh, and exploration is fun, exploring new people. And I know I sound a little bit bitter in this episode, and I am, because I could have had a lot of fun in my 20s, early 20s, for sure. And I didn't have a lot of fun because of my own choices, because I was doing repetition and not exploration. So I was doing like hardcore party experiences, but I realized that they weren't really fun. And if I was exploring more, doing different things, doing, things maybe that weren't so crazy, but they would have been more rewarding, then I would have had a lot of fun. And also, I wasn't willing to work on myself. I wasn't willing to work hard enough to go out of my comfort zone to meet new people, because then I would have really had a lot of fun. So I'm telling you from experience, right? And I'm not even, I'm still in my 20s. So the curtain hasn't closed on this, but that's the thing. I don't want to wait till I'm like old and tell you all this stuff, all these mistakes that I made. I can tell you the mistakes I made like right now. Like I know these were mistakes. Back to the Four Seasons, though. I really want to drive this point home. As a child, these are like a sentence. If there was a sentence for every season of life, this is what they would be. For the spring, it would be, I can do anything. That's what every child thinks, is they don't even know the limitations they have. They just want to grab and experience everything. I can do anything. Let's skip the summer and then go to the fall. So your 30s and 40s, your autumn. The sentence that describes that stage of life is, I have to. I have to do this. I have to do blank. I need to get this done. This is what happens as an adult. This is why you're meant to be, a parent. You're meant to be a parent at this age, going through parenting, because this is what these are the things you need to do in order to not only take care of your child, but also secure your own next stage of life, which is the winter. You're preparing for the winter. Okay, so when we're going into fall and winter, you still get to enjoy your life at this stage, but there's a lot that you have to do. Because once you get to the winter, the sentence that describes your life is, I can't do blank. And I know it's a depressing way to look at it. It's not. It's not that it's depressing. It's just that when you're in the winter of your life, so we're going to say like after 50, right? 50, 60, 70, 80, hopefully 120, right? But the thing about that stage of your life is you could do anything, but you have these limits. You have things that you're just not going to be able to do. Your body's just not going to handle as much as it used to be able to. And it's not that this makes it, negative or depressing. It's just that you have limits. So if we take all of those and go to the summer is your intersection between I can do anything and the fall, which is I have to do this. So it's about what you can do and what you have to do. There's a balance here. Adulthood is all about a balance between what you can do and have to do. But the thing is, we got the gift. Your 20s are such a gift of energy and ability and just being able to handle anything. So you can probably do anything you want to do. So it's about putting yourself in a good position so that when you are in your 30s and 40s, the things that you have to do are easy to do because you've already laid enough groundwork for it. So your 20s, it's not, you can make as many mistakes as you want, but you got to be planting seeds in your 20s. You got to be trying a lot of new things, a lot of exploration, a lot of acquisition. It's work hard and play hard. And planting those seeds in your 20s so that when it's the fall season, then you can have an easy harvest later on. You could just sit back and think about the things you have to do, and then those investments are going to bear fruit. And that doesn't mean you spend your time following a plan to a T in your 20s, because it's not going to work. There's going to be changes. It's not supposed to be nice and neat. It's a lot of this. It's a lot of a winding path. But your 20s are all about doing so much that all the mistakes that you make, you're going to learn from. And then all of the things you've started, all of the people you met, all of the projects that you've undertaken, the ones that are left over and succeeded, they're bearing good fruit. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I got to conclude this video with saying the system, the fucking system, it sets it up in a way where you throw away your life. So don't waste your life, because it's a scam. Don't waste your 20s. Thank you so much, and I'll see you. Oh, it's not even my episode. I just recorded it. Yeah. I'm going to have more of these life lesson type videos. If you enjoy it, let me know. Because, hey, all men need some feedback, right? So let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you again soon.